With the 8th overall pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers selected a floppy-eared O-lineman from Utah named Jordan Gross. And Jordan played 10 years for the Carolina Panthers, 167 appearances. All those were starts, 3 Pro Bowls. And you all know that in football as well as in life, we are what we consistently do, not what we occasionally get done. And as Jordan always said, your habits define your character. No one prepared like Jordan Gross. No one embodied that classy ambassadorship for football and for the Carolina Panthers like the great number 69 did in his fantastic career here. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention again to the video screen.
I think about if I knew someone else that was in the Hall of Honor for a professional sports franchise, I would just think that was so amazing. And so when I flip that around on myself, it helps me understand the magnitude of this.
Believe in each other, have some fun, hit them harder than they hit us, and let's win this game. Believe on 3, 1, 2, 3, believe!
My career, I was so lucky because I really got to play in the greatest era of Panthers history so far. You know, I was on the first Super Bowl team, and I was working for the team, doing radio for the last Super Bowl team.
There we go, Stu!
But then to think about I'm in the Hall of Honor for an NFL franchise, as long as the Panthers organization exists, that accolade and my name will be associated with it, and that's really, really meaningful for myself, but more so my family. This will mean something to all of them, and so it helps me remember fondly my time here in a Panthers uniform and what that meant to me and what I meant to the organization.
There we go!
It's a pretty cool thing, you know, and it really makes me appreciative for how I played and how I carried myself here because it obviously made an impact.
Marty Herney, if you will, please, sir, come back to the stage as we also bring up to the stage a man who every time out brought the intelligence, brought the creativity, and brought the fight for the Carolina Panthers. Please welcome number 69, Jordan Gross.
Jake, it's the video. That's what gets you. I wasn't emotional, and then I watched the dang video. And to my skinny-legged friend Mick Mixon, where you at? I actually played 11 years, so you need to do your homework a little bit better. But who was paying attention? I want to talk about my table, because when you have to select 9 people to join you, they got to make the cut. And I actually snuck in 10 with a little 3-year-old over there. But my wife's parents are here, Joey and Brenda Ishida, and I started hanging around their house when I was 16 years old. And they took me in. God. They took me in, and I was one of theirs. And now we work on the farm together. And so I love you guys. And then I got 2 of my high school buddies here, Chad and Brent. Brent played football 1 year in 6th grade, and he scored 1 touchdown, and I got called for holding on the play. It's true, and he never played again, so sorry, man. You're not the only one that happened to, right, Steve, Jake? And Chad and I went to preschool through 12th grade together, and he was my quarterback in high school and basketball teammate, and I'd hand the baton to him in the 4x1 relay, so fortunate to have friends like that. Alex Gerke coached me at Utah, and I got there and I was scared to death of him. He had a Fu Manchu and tattoos, and he'd coach us in no shirt, board shorts, and no shoes. No joke. That was his uniform for practice. And he brought out in me a tenacity that I didn't know existed. That's right, Boone. And I'm grateful for that. And my daughter, Rainey, who's 10 and looks like her mom, but is inside, she's all Jordan Gross. And, she's gonna do some things. My son, Teddy, who's 13, and everybody's surprised to see how tall he is. He's really turned into a fine young man with good integrity, so that's all you can ask for. My son, Boone, who's 3, and he told me at the farm this week, he was bugging me and wouldn't leave me alone. I was trying to get stuff done to come out here, and I said, Boone, why don't you go play with your grandma? He said, no, I'm just going to follow you around everywhere you go, Daddy. And he does, man. It's awesome. And my wife, Dana, who I knew the best one when I saw her she moved to my town in 6th grade, and it took me a few years to ask her out, but I didn't wait long. And I married her at 20, so we've been married almost 19 years now. And Dana was the first one to really hold me to a higher standard of kind of how I treated other people, but how I treated myself. And thank you. And thanks for our kids. They're not too bad. You did good there. And then my mom, Jan, who you guys might recognize her from the front row of the concert last night, the whole night. And she lost her voice over it, but my energy and my attitude is all from her. So I love you, Mom. But there's a rite of passage in our family that I believe everybody needs to know how to slalom water ski, right? It's like, I love doing it, and you can't be in our family if you don't know how to slalom water ski. And the slalom water ski is, for you who don't know, it's in a lake behind a boat. And it's hard, man. It's scary, and it's tough, and it takes a lot of grit and determination, and you got to try and try and try. And when you're out there in the water trying to learn, like my daughter Rainey was, she's next in line. Hey, Boone, yeah. Teddy can ski, but Rainey was learning this summer, and she was out there, and she was scared, and she was trying, and the water's all over her, and we're encouraging her, and we're throwing her the rope, and try again, and supporting her. And when she got up this year, she made the club, and we all cheered, and I couldn't believe how proud I was over her success. Well, the story of my life and the story of my career is the story about people. Nothing really movie-worthy in how I got here, I was born in a middle-class family with good parents. And I felt like, still to this day, I was given a lot from God, a lot of gifts. And I never really knew why stuff seemed to go my way. And I was aware of that. And I felt like my responsibility to those gifts was to pay it back. And I was so fortunate to have people here, but also people along the way that believed in me, man. Like, it was always right there. Like, whenever I needed the next step, I got the next great coach, I got the next great friend, and all these wonderful people. So I knew that my responsibility and my job while I was here was to do good back at other people. And I always wanted to be a pro football player, even when I was riding the B team in basketball in 7th grade with size 15 shoes and big floppy ears and a lot more width than I had height. But I wanted to be a pro football player, and there was people along the way every step. And I love relationships. Jake talked about it, and I was trying to think about how I could make other people understand how it feels to be up here. And the thing I realized is nobody else in the world knows my relationships like I do. And my wife Dana doesn't know how I feel about Jake. Or Jake doesn't know how I feel about my coach. It's unique to only me. And there's too many people. And Wesley and I were crying this morning in the locker room
because I said it's the people. Last night I didn't talk to half of you because I was dancing my guts out with my mom, because life, when there's moments with the people that you love and they're all around you, like this weekend, I'm overcome with just the love and the appreciation. I could talk about everybody in name, but I got to talk about Steve. We were fortunate to play together for 13 years, 2 in Utah and 11 here. And it was amazing to be in a huddle and knowing you had one of the few real badasses out there. I mean it. And I never wanted to let you down, man. Never, because there's this standard that you set of toughness that was unmatchable. And just to get to be near it and wear the same uniform and share the huddle and not have you get me out of here or get rid of me somehow, I was like, he believes in me. And it made me a 10 times better player, Steve, and better man. And to have your appreciation and your respect, I don't need this jacket, man. That's enough. That's enough. And Jake, when that first of all, I don't know why you don't like Marty, because you threw 5 interceptions that game. Well, I was going to free agency, and a couple months later, he made me the highest paid offensive lineman ever. So I could have got hurt if we would have went to the Super Bowl or something. So thanks, man. But that first game when Jake came in, I remember I didn't know anything. I was a rookie, and I kind of felt like we were rookies together a little bit. But I knew football players when I seen them. And Rodney Pete at that point in time, as much as I loved him, didn't want to be a football player. I knew it. He didn't want to be a football player. He liked being on the team, but he didn't want to be a football player. And I knew that you wanted to be a football player. And I remember at halftime when they put you in, I just thought, oh my God, thank you. Thank you, because we got a football player in us. They're in here with us. And I didn't know what we would go on to do that year, or even more, Jake, but the thing I can tell you is, you up here making fun about your last season, I cried like a baby when you left, man. I'd take 15 interceptions to keep you around. And that was a really hard day for me. And I love you, man. Man, Wesley, we never got to play together, but the one football story I have about you is we played Green Bay my rookie year in the preseason, and you were there your last season. And after the game, I remember watching how many players came and hugged up on you and loved up on you and wanted to talk to you, and there was a line longer than Santa at the mall at Christmas to see you, man. And that speaks volumes about what you left on the team when you left, Wesley. And I remember thinking that. I thought, man, if I could have that happen to me someday, that would mean a lot. And Wesley's developed a friendship with myself, auctioned off a lot of foursomes in this room to Quail Hollow, made a lot of money for charities that you signed up for. So, Wesley, I appreciate our relationship and, the foundation you laid here, man. It means a lot. But by trying to pay back what was given to me and appreciating the relationships and trying to be the person that I felt like every individual relationship needed, it took me a long way, and I look forward to what's next. But I talked about that water skiing because my whole life I felt like I was the one in the water that everybody was just rooting for, man. They had the rope, they had the life jackets, they had the spotter, and when I got up and everybody was cheering, it's just beautiful being here looking back at the boat and seeing everybody in there smiling. And I only wish you guys could know how I feel about everybody, how appreciative I am, and that it's not me, it's everybody that's up here. And thank you. Thank you.